Welcome back. This is Aquarium Hacks by Marcus, and today I'm going to show you an awesome filter build. I'm going to hack it out and just show you guys what I do with it. I'm not going to go through the first list of what the things that you're going to need, so I'm just going to kind of demonstrate that as I go through the video. But just to let you know right off, you will need some sort of canister, larger one. This is a Marineland carbon canister. This is about 4 inches wide and 7 inches tall, and you're going to need a pump. That's for sure. Some kind of pump that will fit inside this canister. So let's get started off with the video. So with your Marineland canister, you're going to drill holes in it. You're going to drill holes in the bottom. You want to drill holes in the bottom, and I'll tell you why later on. But you definitely want to drill holes in the bottom of your Marineland canister, and I would start out with probably small holes first, and then go up to a bigger drill size, as you do not want to crack your plastic as you're doing this, and also give it about a quarter to 3/8 inch space in between each hole. You don't want those holes right beside each other, but you want to definitely give them some space in between so that you do not crack this awesome piece of plastic. This is a tough piece of plastic, but any kind of plastic can crack if you put too much pressure on it. So after you got your holes drilled down on the bottom of it, you're then going to take your top, and with your top, you're going to drill a 1-inch hole. And so you want to use something like a spade drill. You want to use the 1-inch down here at the bottom. Right over on this side. You want to drill a 1-inch hole at the top. You can also start out, if you want to, with something a little smaller, but I just went right for the 1-inch hole, and it just did just fine. I just took my time. I did not drill it very fast. I just drilled it very slow. And when you drill it, just make sure that your top is on there as you're drilling it. So after you drill your 1-inch hole there, then you're going to take your holes on the top, and kind of like you did the bottom, and just drill you some holes all the way around the top here. Drill your holes in there. Start out with a smaller drill if you can, and smaller drill bit, then work your way up to a bigger drill bit so you got some bigger holes up there. Now after this is all done, and then what you're going to do is just take you some sandpaper. This is not sandpaper, this is actually foam, but you're going to take some sandpaper, sand all that rough plastic off on the outside and also on the inside as well. So now this part of your filter is done. And remember, get the paper off. So put some hot water on the outside to get that sticky paper off of there, and then get it off with maybe something like Goo Gone or something like that. Then get the rest of that stickiness off. Okay, so let's move on. Now it's time to start working on the inside of it. So for some of us, you can get a lighting grid, those white lighting grids, like at Lowe's or Home Depot. Those are pretty expensive. If you want to spend that kind of money, I would just suggest for a filter build like this that you just go to your local Dollar Tree or Dollar General, buy a basket like this, and just cut it down to size. You're going to already have your holes already pre-drilled in there, and then drill you some holes on top, because that's going to actually, the grid is going to actually go down inside of here. But I'm going to show you something else that I use instead of this, because I had it laying around. What I did was took my old under gravel filter plate, and I cut it to size. It's already got the grids, see, all already in there. And then what I did on the side, I started out with a small drill bit, and then I took a bigger one, and I drilled holes all the way around the sides, just like that. Because in most filters, effective filters, you do want some flow of water to come in. So that what's going to happen is that water is going to flow into this grid, the bottom of this grid, and then it's going to come up. Okay, so that's what's going to happen. Now after you got your grid cut, then you're going to take you a piece of some coarse foam. I would say no coarser or no finer than 20 ppi, at least 20 ppi. 10 ppi will be fine, but at least 20 ppi will be great. And cut it just a little bit bigger than your grid. Okay, so that's just a little bit bigger than my grid. So we're going to put that all down into the canister body of this filter, the body of this filter. First, I put my grid in. Nice, it's in there really good, well. Then I put my foam in on top of that grid. All right, so now the foam is in on top of that grid. There you go. It's all nice in there, nice and snug. Then I take my biological media and I put that on top of there. Nice and snug. Now that's all in there. Okay, you can definitely not see it hardly on camera with this, but it's all nice down in there. You seen that? Now I'm going to take my pump. And remember, when you have your pump, make sure you have a pump that has many different attachments to it, because you're going to need that as well. But before I take my pump, let me go back just for a second. Of course, I'm going to use my scissors to cut some more foam off the same size as that other foam. And then I'm going to cut me a little hole right here in the middle. I'm going to cut me a hole right there in the middle. Okay? And so, before I place it in there, I want to make sure that my 1-inch tube or 3/4 inch tube will fit right through that hole just like that. See? Very good. Okay. So, now I'm going to place my get my canister here after I cut everything. And remember, when you're cutting stronger plastic, make sure you get some shear scissors or some really tough scissors so that you can cut your plastic. Just a little point I want to bring out before I get started here. Now I'm going to take this, then I'm going to put my tube right there on top. Then I'm going to slide this right down in there. Okay, so we're already seeing what's happening here. So the pump is inside of here, as you can see very well. Tube's here. Now I'm going to take that piece of foam that has the hole cut in the middle. I'm going to slide that right down in there. It's going to stuff right down in there. Now if I wanted to, I could actually, what you could do too is slice out a little piece on your foam right here. If you can see it, slice out a little piece so that this power cord can just slide right in between that foam. And which I might just actually do that. So let me do that real quick. I'm just going to cut that just slightly, ever so slightly. Don't have to cut it all the way to it, but I just want that cord just to be able to slide through that foam a little bit so that it doesn't bundle up the foam too much. So I just cut that just a little bit, maybe just a little bit more so it don't, so that it would just go right in between everything. So I cut that pretty good there. Then take that cord and slide it right in between that foam. Now, that makes it a lot more convenient for everybody. Okay, so now that I have that all in there, then what I'm going to do is take my clip. This is like from a heater. I'm going to take my clip and I'm going to clip the cord to the, as soon as I can get it in between there, I know it works well. But I'm going to take the cord and I'm going to take the cord and clip it to the tubing, the flexible piece of tubing with the heater clip. So I'm just going to simply take it and clip them together. Okay, so now that's all clipped together just like that. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we just got to simply put our top on top. Now as you have this here, if you want to add chemical, now would be a good time to add a bag of chemical around the top here. So you can add a bag of chemical right here on top, carbon, Purigen, whatever you want to, right there around the top. And that's going to work out really good. Okay, so now what you're going to do is slide with that 1-inch hole, because sometimes the end plugs are kind of thick sometimes. Some of them are thicker than others. Sometimes you have a ground on it, so you definitely need a 1-inch hole. But you're going to slide that right down through there, and that's going to slide all the way down on top, just like that. And then that's going to slide up through here, just like that. Okay, push everything down. Things clipped on there really good. Okay. So as you can see here, this is what the whole thing is going to look like. Now this is going to be mainly a biological and a chemical filter, mainly biological. It will do some mechanical filtration, But because you don't have holes all over this thing, it's more proper for biological. But it will definitely do some mechanical, because it will definitely suck in small particles and debris through the holes and the open holes on the top and the bottom. Now on the bottom here, you might want to, you can set this down in your aquarium if you have sand, but just know that sand might get sucked up in here, you know, but the foam will stop most of the sand from getting sucked up into the filter or into the pump. But for the most case, it should be safe with sand. Unless you got some powerful, you know, pump that's on the inside of here, then you might want to put it on a flat rock and have it up above your sand. And which it will get better flow with a flat rock on top of, on the bottom of it anyway. But anyway, let me show you and demonstrate to you how this is actually going to work inside of an aquarium, and just why this is so effective, and why I got the hose on the bottom too. Okay, so let's move it over here to my, sorry about the mess in the room, folks, but let's move it over here to my AK quarantine tank, and we're just going to demonstrate it in this tank. Okay, there it goes, going down into there. Very good. Okay, so there it is in there. Okay, now we're just going to simply plug it up and see how she runs. Okay, so let's see. As you can see there, it is running just fine. And why I like this filter so much is because it's going to suck in water from the top and the bottom. So you're going to get filtration on the top and the bottom. Things are going to filter from the bottom up, from the top down into the bottom. And it's just going to give your tank a total filtration system there. It's going to also aerate your water, and it's going to do a really, really good job. And because you have so many foam pieces, one on top and one on the bottom, it's highly unlikely that any kind of snails or anything like that will get inside of your pump. And a lot of pumps come with their own pre-filter anyway, so your pump's going to be protected from snails, and it's not going to suck up your shrimp. Maybe some little bitty tiny shrimp might get in there and start feeding, but usually if they're that small, they can get in and they can get out. So this is a really, really good filter here. In my opinion, it's just as good as any, as you can see there, it's good as just as any inside tank filter, probably better because you got more room for more biological, and you can upgrade your pumps to whatever size pump that you want to pump to filter your aquarium. It's going to be just as good as a lot of hang on the back filters too, just for the simple fact that it's inside of your aquarium, and you can put so much different kind of media in it, and you can customize that any way that you want to customize it. Now let's take, for instance, it's time for you to do a little filter maintenance on this, right? So what benefits, I mean, how are you going to do that? Will it be a messy job? Will it be difficult? Well, let's find out. First, let me unplug it. Now, as I have it unplugged there, you will see why it's so effective to have that media right there on, I mean, those holes on the bottom. Because as you raise this up, as you raise it up, see, water's going to come out the bottom. Just going to tilt it and get all that water out of the bottom. Now once all that water is out of the bottom, you can take it, put it in a bucket, simply unscrew your top, do maintenance on your filter, clean it out, whatever you need to do to it, add whatever you need to add, and then put everything back in. But that's why it's so important that you have holes on the bottom, because when you lift that out, you're not going to have a whole lot of water that's inside of your filter. You see, that's going to drain all that water out of there, and it's going to make this a very, very effective filter. Good for cleaning, good for filtering out particles, and an excellent, absolutely excellent biological filter that'll keep your fish healthy. And yeah, this can be used in any tank because it's black, it's smooth, it looks cool, and yeah, you can just put that thing right there in the corner of your tank. This is in a 20-gallon tank. Put it there in a corner, and yeah, that's going to work really, 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 really good. So yeah, this is Aquarium Hacks. Always coming up with new ways on how to do filters and things in your aquarium, and always hacking out. Hey, and you too, keep on hacking.